I- Is there a lot of? I mean, this is an area that was founded by Germans and Italians, and you can tell. I mean, I was told the first visit or two, maybe had heard a lot of Italian influence, and then you drive down the east side, and road after road after road was in German, German name, German name, German name. So you learn very quickly that there were Germans. There was a German camp, maybe an Italian camp, but because of the Italians and their requirement for wine, where Muscat's always a common backyard vine for home winemaking in the area.
They've been grown to a lesser extent here. I think you've seen more of them a little bit down south. Some of them were done just for table grape eating type of varieties too. I think you've seen a lot more muscat planted in the last several years as kind of Moscatos have really taken off, and so there's more interest in it right now than there has been in quite some time.
Yeah, who doesn't like muscat?
There are a couple of people. I mean, dry muscat's a hard sell. You got to give kudos to people who are trying to make dry muscat. It's not the easiest thing to sell.
No.
That's beautiful wine. In the summertime with seafood, it's fantastic. So, Mike, elevation 50. We're about 50 feet above sea level. That's
right. Yeah.
Yeah, right here we are. But as you travel throughout the district, you go from the west to the east, it'll rise up a little bit. Maybe another 100 feet or 200 feet.
So you get up in these. Somebody called the toes of the foothills.
The toes of the Sierra Nevada.
So they get up to about 150 feet?
Yeah, give or take. And it's, it can be pretty diverse topography up there. I mean, you have some rolling hills, very much a cobblestone soils. You want to be careful driving your tractor up there because if you get on the wrong side of the hill, you're rolling
down. Over?
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
Do either of you guys know why Vermentino was planted here, or is this... I mean, there's just so many different varieties planting here. Was this just...
I think you're going to see some farmers who they'll plant what they can sell, and then they also want to grow what they want that will grow well here. So there's a group of people that will say, well, this is just like the same topography as my area back home, and this was my favorite grape, so I'm going to try to plant maybe a row or an acre of it here or there and just to see how it turns out. Some of it might not be so good and you might not ever hear of it again, but the Vermentino seems to be one that's starting to take a foothold here.
Absolutely. And it's a beautiful wine. It is. It fits a place, I think, roughly between Sauvignon Blanc and Pinot Grigio. Pinot Grigio tends to be innocuous, a lot of it. Sauvignon Blanc, very assertive, and a lot of people, I think, are looking for white wine that has a good character, maybe not as assertive and grassy as Sauvignon Blanc. This is just a beautiful, relatively light, crisp style, citrusy, fresh white wine for summer. Very impressed with the Vermentino here. Let's see, one more question, and then we're going to move on to the next wine. I had a question for Tim, and now I forgot it. So we're going to take a question from the audience. Andrea Bose, someone know, does any of these wines exported to South America?
This particular wine I don't think is exported to South America. I know he does sell some in Canada, and I know he does sell some in Europe. I'm sure he would love to connect with anyone in South America that wanted to bring it in, though.
So just to repeat, if anybody wants to bring any of these wines into South America, just call Stuart. We'll give you the phone number at the end of the broadcast. The thing that you touched on, I don't know how we touched on it, but it was interesting to hear from several people that they started making wine sort of as a marketing effort to promote the grapes that they were selling.
Sure.
And it's
I mean, the farmers think that the wineries are making all the money, and the wineries think that the farmers are making it all. But it's good for our area to have people that are like that, because then if a farmer thinks that the finished product is when the grapes leave the vineyard, when they acknowledge that, hey, that's just the start of their journey, they've got to turn into something else. They got to turn into wine. So they realize that they're not just grape growers anymore, they're wine growers, that they're trying to grow this bottle of wine and not just send grapes off to join your neighbors in some big giant tank somewhere. So it's just nice to have a little bit more control over them. And then you think that owner of that vineyard, he's going to have to stand behind the counter, or he's going to want to promote his vineyard. you think he's going to do a little bit better job. So it kind of lifts the whole, a nice tide rises all boats.
So yeah, he's got his name on something.
Right.
He's